What's good? We back. Boston Clinic and more. Y'all know what it is. I'll jump right into it. Bob Arum, says he sees no reason why Terence Crawford and Errol Spence can't happen later this year because Spence is fighting in June and Crawford is fighting April 12th in Madison Square Garden, New York City versus Jeff Horn or early next year. He said these guys have a job to do and there's no pushovers in the welterweight division, but if they get past them, he said there's no reason why. And basically he was rebuttaling to Lou DiBella saying he don't believe that Bob Arum wants to really put Crawford in there with Spence. And, people, I said it before, I thought Crawford and Spence may happen before Keith Thurman. And a lot of people starting to believe that, but, it ain't that I don't believe Bob Arum, which, he be lying like a mug. He'd tell you that. And, they talked about, making a lot of fights with PBC fighters, and they have done some mid-level fights like Diaz and Crawford and Molina and Crawford. I mean, nothing major because, whoever network wins has to play these guys both, A-side money. And that's why you don't see a lot of A-side versus A-side fights happening. These guys are in pay-per-view stars, so they ain't going to pull no number on pay-per-view. But it's just simple. It's simple business one-on-one. Why would Al Heyman, let Crawford face Errol Spence before Keith Thurman? When Bob Arum and Top Rank has nothing left to offer Crawford at 147 pounds. Maybe Pacquiao. That's it. After Pacquiao, he don't bring no belt. He brings some notoriety to the table. Unless PBC and Top Rank do a multi-fight deal or something like that. It just doesn't make business sense. And a lot of people ain't looking like that. And of course, people say, well, Bob Arum is in the corner. He don't have any welterweights left, but Constantine Pullmarv and Manny Pacquiao, Jeff Horn, and Mike Alvarado, and Pacquiao Alvarado supposed to be getting it on. It's rumored on the Crawford and Horn card. I feel him on that. But Bob Arum is very innovative. He'll find a way. And they'll say, oh, we try to negotiate, and one side will say they priced itself out, or something happened. I just seen it happen before. It took them about 10 years to make Pacquiao and Mayweather, and that was a big money fight. So this fight is not even a big money fight. It's a fight that fans want to see, but it's not a fight that fans going to pay $50, $60, $70, $80 to see. So why do people believe that they going to work together on this? Because Bob Arum is desperate? Yeah, he's desperate, but he ain't that desperate, And maybe people will say, well, he promotes his black fighters differently. He treats his black fighters differently than he would treat a Lomachenko or some of his Eastern European fighters or other fighters like Pacquiao. And that's true. Maybe he was willing to sacrifice Terence Crawford or, let Terence Crawford face Errol Spence, And that could be a possibility. He don't have anywhere else to go for Terence Crawford, so eventually Crawford's going to wiggle out anyway. And that's what people think. But I just think Bob Arum is very innovative, and I think this is my heart is saying that he's going to find a way to squirm around or swiggle around, him making PBC fights, unless they come with a deal. And when they came to agreement from the lawsuit, they agreed to work with each other, Al Heyman and Bob Arum. So maybe the time is right and the price is right for them to work together. And maybe they, like Bob Arum said a couple months ago, they can do a talent swap and do a multi-fight deal with Top Rank, Showtime, and PBC, and put it in writing, and some guys go over there. Maybe you could bill it as, Top Rank ESPN versus Showtime, and do some cards with some Top Rank. The co-feature has a Top Rank versus PBC guy. And I think it would, and you could mix Golden Boy in there as well. If they could sit down and hash out a deal, that'd be great. But that's in the same world. We in the Twilight Zone with these guys. And why would Al Heyman, give Terence Crawford a shot at a PBC title before he gives Keith Thurman that? It just doesn't make sense when he can put Thurman and Spence versus each other, and they can fight Sean Porter, Danny Garcia at that point because they gonna want shots at 3 titles. They can do that. And what is Terence Crawford gonna do? Fighting fighting mandatory after mandatory WBO week. Who he gonna fight? He ain't fight nobody if he ain't working with PBC. So you can just freeze that guy out, and long after a while, Terence Crawford gonna get frustrated for the fights he's not getting. And, Al Heyman can give him a buzz, say, I can get you out to a Top Rank contract, or they can wait till his contract run out and save him like they did Chavez Jr., save him like they did Mikey Garcia, save him like he did Floyd Mayweather Jr., and get him out of his contract and bring him over, and then, you can make that in-house fight happen. That's business. A lot of people don't look at it. They look at it from a fan perspective, but that's business. Al Heyman's a smart businessman. But if, Earl is But look at this. But if Earl is his own man and Earl wants to Terence Crawford fight seriously, Al Heyman is his manager and his advisor. He manages and he advises him. He can give him, like, this is what we want to do. And then, you know, if Errol wants to take control of his career and say, Al, go make the Terence Crawford fight happen. I'm not contractually tied to Showtime or PBC. I go shop with Top Rank and get rid of you. Then he's going to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm not saying he's going to say that. But if Errol Spence wants that fight, Errol Spence can do that fight. He go, you know, tell Al to go make it with Bob and make the fight happen. It's down to if Errol Spence wants to fight because he has no promotion on TV deal, you know, tie-ups. Now, Crawford, if he wants to fight Errol Spence, Bob Arum say, no, we ain't doing that right now. You know, Carl Moretti and his manager, I forget the manager over there, Top Rank, I forget his name. You know, that manages all the fighters. But he can say, no, we ain't doing that right now. I'm your promoter. I'm steering your career. I'm putting the money up. We ain't doing that. But Errol Spence don't have a promoter. He has a manager who manages his career. He doesn't control his career. If Errol Spence wants to fight Terence Crawford, it's going to happen. So that's the glimmer of hope right there. But I just don't believe Bob Arum is willing to let Crawford come over here to Showtime, or I'm not sure if Errol Spence is willing to go over to ESPN and get the less of the money, you know, because we know the networks is not going to pay them, you know, all that money. I don't see that happening, but they could. But they're not going to get 2.5 or 3 million. These guys going to have to take a little bit less. They're going to have to make $2 million for this fight to happen, and maybe the winner can get an extra 10% on top of that. But it's going to continue to have to build themselves up. But I don't know. But let me know what y'all think. But I think it's really in Errol Spence's hand if this fight happens or not, because he's the free agent. We gone.